disrupt these heroes, especially that primal beast, to make the space that we're talking about that Drown needs. So if he has a good game, I think he could have a lot of impact. Same with that Mirana, a lot of that roam potential. I do think they showed a pretty strong laning stage as well. So this draft, compared to last one, I do think is much easier for them if they get off to a good start. I think they don't have to feel as pressured of like, oh, if we throw one fight, we're done.
AcatSuki here with a smoke wrap around. It will
They
pop, but it
find that
doesn't get
Crystal
scouted, so they
Maiden.
know there's someone over here. Okay, they saw him actually for a moment. Widge? Oh, the arrow hits!
Oh,
Blind into the
I don't think
Crystal
they can
Maiden,
get
but
there though.
I don't... Yeah, I was like, no, who else is going to do anything? You have no other
The funny,
stuns?
the funniest thing is if they had just ran forward, they would have actually trapped that Crystal
Yeah.
Maiden up there. Could have gotten that kill. But of course, you don't know. You're playing it safe. Gonna be a reverse smoke from Midas. They're gonna connect with the Doom here.
They did
Oh, and
smoke
I
under
think
a
that
ward,
ward
though.
spotted it. Yeah, so this will not lead to anything outside of some mistakes here.
Yeah, I mean, Prada, he's trying to pop the smoke
See
here.
that? Yeah. He's teasing them.
Yeah,
Just
I mean, he knows
walking
exactly where
by.
they are. Well,
Well,
Prada. Oh, opens Crystal Nova into the bushwhack with that Scorched Earth. He's
pretty
getting
close.
incredibly low. Second Blood Grenade, not enough to find the kill. Okay, that's actually double Blood Grenade commitment. That's actually not bad. And he did open 6 tangos, so he should be fine. Well,
I think that might have been.
Kiko.
I think he'll be okay. It's just him. I think if Crystal Maiden had gone with him, that might be a kill. Well, okay, yeah. I think if he started Frostbite, he probably could have gotten that kill. But
Yeah.
I think maybe wanting Q to help secure creeps versus this insane damage at the Tiny, and didn't want to sacrifice that for a first blood potential.
Yeah, it's also a little bit more mana efficient for damage, but not by much, you know. It's about the same.
Hmm.
All right, well, into the lanes we go. Mid, we'll have the Primal Beast up against the Kunkka. I think, honestly, a fairly even lane for both of these guys. Primal Beast has a ton of base damage to work with, but once you get more and more points in the Tidebringer, it shouldn't be too hard for the Kunkka here to find some last hits. And of course, Trample, a good ability, but always going to be something that you can deal with Torrent.
Yeah, I don't expect to see either of these guys die, except for if someone builds a slight lead and maybe hits level 6 first, then I could see like one of them killing the other. But it also might just be like a very careful play around 6 and then like see some rotations out of that mid lane.
Yeah.
Or to that mid lane, because actually there's great supports on both sides to do so.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which lane we might see some kills in first, but top lane's in a really good position here for FCR, so Prada on this Clockwork can't really have any impact right now. Right, like Clockwork needs to be able to run these heroes down, and instead they're actually gonna get on top of the Drow Ranger here, and Cogs doesn't actually trap the Doom, and Shido on the run here. They need a couple more attacks in as that Scorched Earth expires, but yeah, they've got him. First Blood goes to the Doom. They can even put some damage back into this Clockwork as well, as he does have a Cogs. I mean, that's huge. That is a massive win for this Midas Club offlane.
Yeah, I think just a little preemptive with the power cogs, and then couldn't actually keep on anyone with that battery assault, so they actually just run at Drow that whole time. Very nice pickup from them. I think this can easily go both ways. Like, if you get to the Drow, you kill the Drow, but if Clockwork manages to isolate someone, then it's pretty hard to get out of that cogs for them. That Doom and that Hoodwink. So, for now, going the way of Midas Club, but it's not like one kill lanes over. Like, Clockwork is still pretty scary throughout the rest of this laning stage.
Oh, yeah.
Radiant structures
Top lane. Doom is in really deep here. They do get a nice 2-hero bushwhack to follow this one up in the Scorched Earth. Just burning them down. 2 points, doing a ton of work, and they never pull the tower aggro, so Shido will make it out, but now they're turning attention to Prada with a blood grenade as he gets the cogs off last second. A nice bushwhack, but the Acorn shot nearly finishes off the Drow. She's gonna have to kind of just sacrifice himself potentially here on the clockwork. Hiko almost dying in the process, but now Doom, he's got his eyes set on the Drow. Nice gust to get him to safety. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we actually missed a kill there as it grabbed Kiri.
Yeah, an arrow connected. Ooh. An arrow connected on the Crystal Maiden, and then they just ran her down. Just Crystal Maiden things. The top kill was much more exciting.
Yeah. So, top lane's going great. I mean, Drow's down, sitting at 11 CS, had to walk all the way back to base, then TP. Like, she's not having a good time. Prada here, trying to find the hoodwink, but unlucky, doesn't get in range there. What is Doom going? I'm assuming... Oh, he just has phase boots and a windlace completed. Okay, that is scary, actually.
And Drow, not a hero who likes people being on top of her like we talked about, so now you're just going to run at her. We'll see if the buff to Drow was that multi-shot, even without the talent, at max level is 3 seconds lower than before. We'll see how good of a recovery tool that is, because that seems to be what she's going to be using it for this game.
Yeah, I mean, without the with the talent, it's a difference of 1 second though, which is like, you know, doesn't make much of a difference. Meanwhile, Witch comes through the gates top, and they're gonna find themselves another kill onto this top lane. This is a disaster. You have a killing spree on this hoodwink, and FCR is just free farming on the Doom at this point.
Yeah, they're going to need to start playing around this Kunkka. So far, the mid lane pretty even, although Primal Beast, like, he did attempt to gank, didn't, like, quite find anything. But yeah, they're going to need Kunkka to get active, and that's what he's doing. He's coming up here. I don't know if he's going to make it in time, though.
Yeah, he's not going to make it in time at all. That's actually such a sick play because they drag the wave. They get so much damage into the tower, and Prada feels kind of, like, obligated to get active, but... Oh, man.
Yeah, and the cool thing for Midas Club is that they're getting pretty active top. That means you're leaving your carry alone. It's a Medusa. I mean, Medusa's pretty hard to kill. She's got Arcane Boot. She's got 14 charges on the wand and 1 Lotus. All right, people are going to have a chance to react to that. Doom gets killed top, boat committed. Now, that's a really good kill to get, actually.
Yeah, he stuck around for a little bit too long, decided to clear up the hard camp, and Kunkka came back, sets up the X boat. Very easy for them to bring down that hero. They have no real stun to stop him from, you know, timing the X boat. Bottom lane, Adrian getting ran out here by the Primal Beast. He has a pulverize, but doesn't get in range, actually, and they'll let him go.
Man, Drow is a hero who can jungle pretty early, but level 3 is pretty brutal. She's going to hit level 4 as she kills a creep here soon, but...
Level 3 and 1,800 net worth.
Yeah, and compare that to the Medusa, who's like freely farming the lane. It is not going to be an easy game for them right now. It's still recoverable if they start finding more good kills off of the boat. So we'll have to see if they... Like, I think they need to have smokes ready, and they got to, like, use it pretty much off cooldown to really get back into this.
Top lane, they are going for another dive here onto Prada. Adrian's making his rotation here, so he has the avalanche, the toss. A lot of damage coming out from the Tiny, but Prada dies anyway, and FCR, no way he actually gets out of this. With Robo Z here as well. The kill end up going to the Drow. That's fantastic. But guess what? You've got a Primal Beast. Great gust out from the Drow. Robo Z gonna throw the X and the boat. Hits the Crystal Maiden. The arrow to follow. 2 kills going the Drow Ranger's way. So they get a little bit of gold going into this Drow Ranger.
Her game is being saved. She's gonna be able to get power treads off of that double kill. Still behind, but
like 500
massively stepped up there. Just sped her up by like 2 minutes of jungling.
Yeah. As Adrian is still here. Hoodwink is level 6, mind you, thanks to the Wisdom runes. And FCR is not, so that's actually quite funny. The offlane Doom still trying to get to his level 6, but the Hoodwink already there.
A little bit of the downside of bringing so many heroes up here. You split the XP, and then unfortunately for him, he died while his supports lived.
Yeah.
But he's going to pick it up here as he finishes farming this jungle camp, I think.
Prada going to fall in the bottom lane as they are just... I mean, honestly, it's Primal Beast just going to be playing super active from here. He has a haste rune. He is going to go the Blade Mail build, which isn't super surprising from the mid lane. It's really frustrating for a Drow Ranger, so if you get the silence, you actually just can't multi-shot into this guy. Mm-hmm. So, I like this. I think it's a really smart build for him this game.
Looks like Drow Rangers might actually going to go Midas, I think. She's got the Gloves of Haste, and she has the money for the Power Treads from earlier, but she hasn't spent any of it. So I can only imagine the reason is that she's pivoting to a Midas to try to catch up.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if you have much of a choice, to be honest.
Handsome devil, aren't I?
Oh man, that feels so bad. Yeah, this is the downside of Drow. She's not a strong lane hero, like at all, right? Like you don't want to have to put a point in Gust early because you'd like to just get points in Frost Arrows and multi-shot. But even with that, you know, putting a Gust in early, you still are just getting ran at and dying underneath the towers. FCR gets caught here. X into the boat. They manage to dodge. Well, it looks like they're going to dodge the gank entirely. He's just a little bit too tanky as he takes away their ward.
Yeah, the positioning that is not a great spot. You're like pushing up into the enemy's high ground, into their triangle, and yeah, you know Doom's got nice Doom, and you're not even killing him, so he could just Doom you. Ooh,
this is a really sick turnaround, though. They actually managed to stay top, and the Moonlight Shadow will catch the Doom, so that burst damage will find the kill.
I gambled, you lost.
I like that we're seeing a max arrow build here out of the Mirana when you have a like Kunkka as well as a Tiny and even a Clockwork to play around, right? So a lot of damage that comes out of this spell.
Yeah, and I think you need to be getting active too because you already got such good farmers on your team. Like the Kunkka, Drow's gonna only be jungling to try to catch up, right? So yeah. Less need of like the wave clear damage from Starstorm, more that like kill potential from the Sacred Arrow.
And there's your Midas. So Drow finishes the Midas, and at this point is level 6, so her farm speed should speed up. Another X Torrent into Arrow in the mid lane. 40R comes in, pops an Invis rune, trying to just slow this aggression down. Hookshot comes through, nice pulverize as well, but Robo-Z, under the effect of that run buff, very tanky. So they will find themselves a nice pickoff onto this Hoodwink, and honestly, that kill's worth a ton. That was a massive gold streak, or kill spree. He was 5-0 at that point, so Prada getting 450 gold just for himself. Arrow tanked by Widge here. Needs to be careful, though, as they just finished the kill instead. And now, with FCR here on the Doom, pump faking the Doom, trying to think if he goes for the kill onto the Clockwork. He should just get it. Yeah, it's one of those things where you'd like to not commit it, but
run to a jungle camp. Maybe could have made it to that hard camp, actually. Go for the deny.
Actually might have.
But focused on like spending his money before he went, so I can understand that too. Ooh, maybe finding the Doom again. Toss in place into the arrow. It's so much damage. Starstorm doing nothing, though, because it's level 1.
He's baiting. He's got a Veil. He's got Infernal Blade, but you do not want this Kunkka to be anywhere near you. And Adrian, I don't know if he's going to be able to close the gap with this Avalanche. He is... Oh, hits him with the Veil for good measure. 40R. Dust will catch Robo-Z. Does get a great torrent out, though, to buy some space as Adrian is still looking for the Kunkka. They've got him. They actually get the perfect combination as the Arrow's going to catch the Primal Beast as well. Can they actually bring down the Primal Beast here at the tower? Great freezing field from Widge, and now gets aggressive. Blade Mail, though, nearly ends up finishing him off. Can they get the kill? The X, the torrent's off the mark, but Adrian gets him with an avalanche. This dive, you're kidding
Oh
me.
my
It cleans
God.
them all up.
Yeah, the fight's insane. It's so close.
Hiko did not have a TP, and Costa Bile did not either.
Huge win for AcatSuki there. And Drow just farming. She's slowly getting back into this. At this point, she's not that far behind the Primal Beast, who had a pretty good start, but just not able to connect on his rotations. Currently 0-1 and 2, compared to the Kunkka, who's 2-0 and 5.
If the does Blade Mail return Blade Mail damage?
No, you can't. You can't do the infinite cycle.
Dang it. I was like, man, if Kunkka pops Blade Mail and you go in and trample and then pop your Blade Mail.
We just started a chain reaction. Just everyone immediately dies.
The server crashes. It's like, oh, all right, we're done.
Yeah, not allowed to reflect multiple times. Medusa, haven't really talked much about her because she's also just been quietly farming. Popping
reveal
net worth,
mid lane.
pretty scary.
The mark with the arrow.
Off the mark. Would have been a kill.
Yeah, absolutely. With the follow-up from Clockwork, and I think he'd already onslaughted, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Medusa, she's going to be able to hit a really strong timing. She's got her Manta. Looks like she's chosen to go for a Scotty next, and she's already 1,500 gold along the way. So they're going to be able to just sit behind her pretty soon.
Oh, they do
X
see
gonna
FCR on
find
the
a
high
hoodwink.
ground too, so he has to run. Boat off the mark. Nice play from Hiko. The avalanche,
Roche.
though, into a torrent. He's gone. And Clockwork is still hunting the Doom here. He's not going to have vision, though. It's nighttime. So FCR makes it out. As he's closing in on a Blink Dagger. I mean, this is a really nice gank because they should get this tower. He scouted. He needs to TP ASAP. Nice TP. Good arrow as well. Would have actually connected. Oh.
We'll pick up the bottom tower even without that Doom kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
With Drow recovering as much as he has, is this like who is this really favoring? Because I'm looking at the gold and it is going almost dead even now. As AcatSuki has definitely crawled their way back in, but is it enough? Oh, nice bushwhack catch the Tiny. The Doom comes out. Prada goes in, ends up tanking the bushwhack, but 40 Rs here on the backside to guarantee the kill onto the Tiny. FCR needs to be able to get away. Great frostbite. The X, the torrent back. Will be able to secure the kill. A 2-for-1. But getting the Doom is quite nice. And Kunkka, no bushwhack. Curie will survive as well.
So, to your question right before that, I think it depends a little bit on what fights get found before then, but assuming it continues to stay roughly even, I think we're going to have to look at when they decide to play around Medusa. Like, is it the Scotty or is it the item after that? I think if they play with the Scotty, she'll be pretty strong. It's hard to fight into her, but she's maybe lacking just a bit of damage she would like to have. I'm just worried about waiting for another item because, I mean, you're just giving more time for the Drow Midas to kick in and like continue to catch up.
The max arrow damage is nuts when it hits. Like, it's just like avalanche immediately into toss arrow. It's like Crystal Maiden just dies instantly. Like, it was just one little auto attack from the Tiny to finish her off. I like what you're saying, though. I think that does make a pretty big deal, like whether or not you play around the Medusa Scotty or not, or if you want to keep pushing late game. Because I do feel like Drow, like we talk about the different counters to the Medusa, right? You either have mana burn or you have overwhelming damage. And Drow is an overwhelming damage hero in the late game. She is quite good, and eventually the Aghanim Scepter as well is really difficult for some of these heroes on Midas Club to play around, specifically like Primal Beast and the Doom, right? If you start to build up these hypothermia stacks, they shatter around the fight. You can't chase her down super easily. So we'll see if you get to there. As for now, Shido is going super defensive. He's got like Midas. He's going for an immediate Dragon Lance into Hurricane Pike. So realizing he's like, I need a mobility item.
Yeah, and with that, we don't see Medusas by Hurricane Pike very much lately. So you'll be able to outrange the Medusa, which is a good way to deal with her. Like, it's a huge pain when you all have to like clump on the Medusa. She pops ult and she's like damaging everyone. But Drow being able to poke from that far away is quite nice for her in this matchup. Then if like as she gets closer, you gust all that stuff. You have the teammates to make space, like we talked about earlier. Torrent, Storm, now done. Kunkka just finished that. I wouldn't be surprised to see him buy a shard potentially. And then that's just like a lot of control for protecting your Drow. Primal Beast tries to charge in without BKB, you just like push him away, all that stuff, and you let your Drow go. So I I do think Midas, they don't want to drag this out in the late game. Not that they'll lose, but like it's close, right? You still have to be careful with the fight. So I do think they need to find a way to make use of this Medusa, who is currently at the top of the net worth. I don't know if they know that, but they should have a good rough feeling that, you know, Medusa's just been farming this whole time.
I think right now, AcatSuki is quite dangerous on the map. I think Doom and Primal Beast not having as good a game as they were hoping. And so if they can actually continue this momentum, I can see AcatSuki taking this. You have a really farmed Hoodwink, which is definitely scary. She has a Vessel completed, a kind of an unconventional Hoodwink build. But if you manage to keep finding these like pickoffs with this Tiny Mirana combo or Kunkka Mirana combo, I think Drow Ranger late game might do it. I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure, but you need to get to the BKBs on the Radiant, like more than anything. And you're pretty far away.
Yeah, the damage is good versus the Spirit Vessel from the Hoodwink. I mean, good versus the tanky Kunkka and Tiny Cores. Maybe that's part of the logic she went for.
Yeah. I mean, it's good against all of them, right? Like, all of these three heroes that initiate, whether it be Kunkka, Tiny, or Clockwork, go in. They're just going to be immediately like Bushwhack, Spirit Vesseled. And yeah, Boat reduces a decent chunk of damage, but it's still a fantastic debuff.
I guess you also probably don't want to go greedy with the Maelstrom, which we sometimes see Hoodwinks do when you have a Medusa, have a Primal Beast, Doom. Like, these heroes all farm pretty quickly. So you'd probably actually just end up stealing farm from your Medusa.
Yeah.
He's going to go Mage Slayer, which we don't see as much anymore after that item got nerfed. But I guess he's kind of correct that right now their problem is the burst damage from the Kunkka Tiny Mirana. So maybe aiming to reduce that with the Acorn Shot, spreading the Mage Slayer passive.
Yeah, it's all spell damage when you think about it, right? So I actually really like the idea of being able to reduce Kunkka's spell damage in these fights. Like, he's going to be one of the primary targets. So if, you know, his boat, Torrent Storm, and everything's doing 40% less damage, and if like your Avalanche Toss is doing 40% less damage, suddenly it's really easy for Midas Club to take the fights. And they don't really have a Mage Slayer builder on, you know, on AcatSuki. So that could honestly be a pretty big turning point in the mid game damage, but you're pretty far away. It is a support Hoodwink, so it's going to take her a moment to get there. You know, and assuming there's not like some big fight that breaks out and she walks away with like 2 kills, you know?
Yeah, which a big fight might break out because I think AcatSuki wants to look for something. The Ags is on the way for Kunkka. It's not here yet, but actually they're diving for the kill anyways.
Yeah, you show for a second and it's just Avalanche Toss, full 5-second arrow. And there's just no way you get out of there. And she's tanky, right? Like, she's got a Vessel, she's got a stick, Casual Circlet. Maybe thinking that Lance of Pursuit, not the most useful item from the jungle slot now. She needs to get health at this point. Just raw HP. Very important for her. So maybe she finds a Pupil's Gift. That would be huge.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice for her. The Kunkka Ags, he's got it. They haven't found a fight yet. He's pushing in this bottom lane. Wondering if they're gonna like siege up down here for the next few minutes. They have some good vision down here, and it might be a little slower since Drow is still catching up, but they can do Roche if they win a fight, or maybe just the enemy team doesn't feel comfortable pushing in, so maybe they'll want to hold this area.
Wow, Medusa got very unlucky. Didn't get either Grove Bow or the Specialist Array. So is forced to go for a Vambrace. What a terrible item, dude. That thing is so terrible.
It used to be so good. So good.
And then they just put Specialist Array in the game, and you're like, well, why would I ever take this item ever?
Yeah, we just kind of like swapped them, really. Like, everyone was going Vambrace is way too good, and then no one wanted Specialist Array because it was so bad. So they just like endlessly buffed Specialist Array and endlessly nerfed Vambrace, and now we're just on the opposite end. Everyone's like, please, Specialist Array. I think Vambrace's like best purpose now was when you want to tank up and get some magic resistance from the strength version.
That's it.
But even that's like kind of looks like an engagement top. They have the amplified damage on the Kunkka. Blade Mail action.
Yeah. He is just in a whole nother continent away from his team there. I think he's just trying to cut the lanes and gets picked off. A Yule's out from carry, trying to find this Hoodwink. Bushwhack does
the
connect.
one tree here left.
Oh, really nice sharpshooter. All right, he should be out.
Where she went. Very nice for them. The Scotty is done on the Medusa. She queues up the Crystallis, so I guess we'll see. Are they going to go? There's a smoke. No Primal Beast, but maybe just trying to grab
Blink.
this Kunkka.
Yeah, that's an easy kill. Blink, well, off the mark of the Bushwhack, but it doesn't matter.
It's so slow with the Scotty.
Yeah. Doom Vessel onto a Strength Hero. Good luck. Like,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just those two
tagging
heroes
it
alone
probably.
would have been really close to killing him.
Top lane, looking for
find
40
Primal
R
Beast
again
again?
here. Gets the Blade Mail off. Ooh, the
Creeps helping out.
disengage. Yeah, and now he's got to pulverize Adrian. He's dead. And Kiri has to pop the Yules to try and get him to safety. And good attempt. Avalanche buys him space. Adrian might live. He's gonna blink.
One.
Is under attack.
Medusa gonna pay the price.
So yeah, they're gonna
You better
find the
tip
Mirana.
me. Commend me, Tiny. I just saved your life. I was out. I chose to sacrifice myself for you.
Yeah. She was TPing as well. Like, she was TPing out, and as soon as the pulverize gets queued up, she's like, crap, that's gonna stun me and it's gonna kill the Tiny. Like, has to Yules and get Tiny out. It was a nice little recognition from Kiri.
Man, she's farmed so fast though with that kill for the Medusa. Crystallis is here. I really think they're pretty strong. I think they can just start going. Grab their Tormentor and maybe start heading out.
One thing to note, Drow is third on net worth now. She's creeping her way up.
Just Midas things.
Yep.
She's getting flashbacks from the pubs. Carry goes jungle, gets Midas. And yet you win! Because you don't get punished enough. I don't think Midas tried, but just not able to connect on their early rotations.
Mid lane, Adrian looking for an opening here. They do see instead, Doom just jumps in. They're underneath the ward. The BKB is there for the Primal Beast, but Doom doesn't get anything off. He dies first. Prada likely to sacrifice himself in the process. Sharpshooter connects onto the Tiny, but can they get more? Under the cover of Moonlight Shadow, a very nice win here. As they get the Medusa, Avalanche, toss, arrow, this vessel burning down the Tiny, a great gust, and another well-timed torrent out from Robo-Z. The tidal wave pulls him back. Primal Beast,
Wait, on to
he's
Drow
dead.
though.
But guess what? They get on top of the Drow. Great Force Staff away,
still on
but
high
not
ground?
to the low ground. And unfortunately for Shido, he's dead, and Hiko is not done. Looking for Kiri. He's got a Bushwhack. He's got a Vessel. Doesn't even connect on it. Doesn't matter. Double kill for the Hoodwink. Ends up being a 5 for 2 as Midas Club starting to go their way.
That torrent was maybe not it. Drow is doing a great job outranging and slowly picking up kills, but he torrents to try to make sure they get the Primal Beast kill, but it actually just brings Medusa right on top of the Drow, and Medusa wins that fight easily right now once they're both attacking.
Yeah. It's like the slow attack speed slow from the Scotty is pretty crippling onto the Drow.
Yeah, and Drow's not at that overwhelming damage we talked about yet because of the rough start she had. I mean, she's catching up, but she still has a lot of growth to go. So just can't win. I mean, she's 7,000 gold behind the Medusa, so it's really no surprise she can't win the one-on-one there.
That's a decent amount. And, well, after that fight, Costabile has a Daedalus now, as he will get his level 20 fairly soon. I would guess he goes to Stone Gaze duration. Most people do, because if I'm not mistaken, it does allow you to Stone Gaze someone twice, right? Maybe not. I feel like it does.
You're not 100% sure.
I can't remember. It did at one point. I think it lasted long enough to where like you'd get stone gaze and then the debuff would expire and then it would still stun them again.
Double check.
But it lasts a long time with that duration bonus. Oh, nice torrent again. But guess what? Doom is out the sharpshooter and Kunkka, he's already dead. What a nice find there from the Doom as 40R looking for Prada. Do they have a gem? They do not. The dust off the mark as well.
Yes, you can be affected by a stone gaze multiple times.
Okay, that's what I thought. It's like it goes up to like 7.5 second duration and it only it takes like 2 seconds to freeze you and then stuns you for 2.4. So technically, the tail end of it, if you're looking at her the whole time, will stun you twice. Avalanche from Adrian. Toss back. They've pulled the Primal Beast into a pretty risky spot here. Does have a BKB if he needs. Will pop it. He needs to be very careful as the Drow is doing a ton of damage. As he will onslaught through those cogs, and he is out.
I mean, they're in a pretty good position now. Roche is going to be coming top. I think they could just go grab an Aegis for this Medusa, and I think you just A-click down the lanes after that.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I think
look
we're going
like
to see
that's their
40
plan,
yard go
though.
get... He's going to go reset and probably TP back to the top lane. Doom can come through portal. As, well, he has his BKB completed. Hasn't had to use it quite yet.
AcatSuki's smoking up, trying to find something before this happens. They might run into the Medusa, but it's right by her tower.
They're going to get just the Crystal Maiden, and even then a blink aggressively from Costa Bile into this fight. The boat's going to connect. He's isolated. No Manta available as the Drow just laying into him. He has no Stone Gaze. Costa Bile, a pretty big blunder there off that blink reveal, and on the backside of the fight, they're looking for Drow. FCR comes in. They manage to tank the Sharpshooter. You've lost all your damage. Your Primal Beast, no BKB for 20 seconds, no Doom for 15. They're trying to do what they can on the Hoodwink, but this is the best case scenario for the side of AcatSuki, is they're going to get triple kill onto the Drow as Roshan's available and they lose nothing.
He
They're not done.
Doom. Arrow?
The slow connects
Whoa.
into the arrow. The
Bit of
toss
a
back,
wide
they
arrow
pulled him
there.
into the river. He cannot escape. Beautiful finds here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Primal Beast not even going to find
Radiant's top tower is under
Clockwork,
attack.
and they even look for him. Okay, they're going to take this tier 1 tower, and some of them are pretty low. It's a little scary to do Roche, actually.
Yeah.
You might be scared of it getting stolen, so looks like they'll push out their lanes. I think both teams really should be thinking about the Roche, though.
That is like a, what, 5,600 gold swing? And Drow Ranger got like 3 kills, so... Yeah, she got like 1,300 gold just herself on the Drow. Not including the bonus gold from the other assist.
Yeah, I mean, Drow's that type of hero where she does not need a lot of items to do a lot of damage to a single target if she's allowed to just auto attack freely, and that's exactly what she got there. We just saw her laying into the Medusa. No one could get to her just because that was not quite the fight Midas wanted. Maybe not quite being prepared for that. I feel like they just want to fight. They were scattered resetting and weren't prepared for AcatSuki's smoke right by their own tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, Costa Bile blinked into a torrent, into a boat, and had no Stone Gaze. So it is... Yeah, that is probably like worst case scenario for your Medusa. He got just controlled up for like 6 seconds while the Drow Ranger is just sitting there auto attacking him. And it took a while for them to bring down the Medusa, but now with Drow getting basically an entire item off of that fight, she has a Manta if she wants it, but instead, what is she buying here? We'll have to see. She's going Lincoln's, and she has it completed, so she'll have a full Lincoln Sphere now. Smoke
Roche
up.
finally gets started.
Oh, they know about the ward. They kind of know
Crystal
they're here.
Maiden just sitting out here, baiting herself.
She's like, guys, I promise you'll want to go for me. Ward sentry down. Scouts Prada. Scouts Robo Z. The Bushwhack doesn't connect. FCR goes in. He gets his Doom. That removes a huge component of the team fight, but they get the hook shot onto the Medusa. He's forced to Stone Gaze immediately, which can't really connect on his target. Hiko trying to get away from Prada, or from Adrian and Kyrian. It looks like it's working. They've isolated AcatSuki, split them into 2 completely different quadrants, and they've taken down the Tiny. His buyback's available. They're looking for Kiri here on this Mirana. She's got no way out. The Crystal Clone will hold her in place, as well as the Pulverize. So a decent start to the fight. You did commit the Doom for this, and Robo Z's got everything back up. Bushwhack connects. In comes 40R. Can they actually bring him down? It's a lot of damage. He's got his BKB still available. They're going to buy back on the Tiny, but 40R need to be careful. He just start to get away here. Taking a huge amount of damages now. Shido can start just doing what he wants, but they've isolated him. The Bushwhack catches him into that vessel, and guess what, man? You're controlled up, trying to get away. Clockwork comes in, but you're not gonna escape. 3 heroes dead. They managed to trade for the Primal Beast and the Doom.
That cog save was almost sick, but it just pulled the Drown as well, which is absolutely not what you want.
Yeah.
Pretty close fight, but ends up going the way of Midas Club. I think they can finish this Roshan. They'll have to follow it through. Amplify damage on Costabile, definitely. Just head on down to that Rosh. Good jump on the Doom to grab that Kunk at the start of all of that, just removing all that crowd control. Could have been a very different fight. I think that's pretty much the best target to Doom, assuming he hasn't cast his spells yet.
I agree. I think Boat and Torrent Storm is massively problematic for the Medusa, and it actually just creates a zone where this Drow can do whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we saw, you know, as soon as that's removed from the fight, they had no way to actually like engage on AcatSuki, and they'd already kind of dove the backline onto Adrian at the same time. So zone's not completely.
Didn't end up doing Rosh though, so both teams still fighting over this. I feel like this has been the name of the game for the last like 10 minutes now.
Yeah, Drow's making her way down here. It does get her level 20 talent, so the multi-shot damage, a pretty substantial buff, but whether or not it's enough damage, we'll have to see. Smoke coming out here from Midas Club. Scan connects onto the high ground. They know there's someone here. Will they try and just scout it out? I actually don't see the Mirana quite yet. Smoke will pop on Medusa. There's going to be the X. She does have a brand new BKB. Arrow connects as well. They've managed to catch the Mirana on the backside. She is just nearly dead. Sharpshooter off the mark, but should be able to burn her down here. Plenty of magic damage to secure it. That being... Oh, you actually didn't get a Vessel charge.
Losing the Mirana, they don't feel comfortable fighting, so it looks like everyone's scattering. Gonna go try to push out the other lanes in the meantime.
This is gonna be a very slow Rosh.
It's pretty slow. They don't know that the Dire's given up on this fight, so they're playing it safe. But I think now they see it's happening, so everyone's just gonna rush back into the pit. Maybe Clockwork will go for a steal. He's sticking around in the area. Be a pretty sick steal. Hopefully he does not run into these creeps. Oh, I think the creeps actually spotted him.
Yeah, he spotted him.
Yeah, he's wrapping around trying to find this, but they know.
They're like, nah, buddy. The other 4 heroes ready and waiting. They pick him off. I mean, it's a good attempt from the Clockwork.
Would have been sick
to try and make it.
Yeah. And it's pretty worth it, I'd say. If you die, but you manage to steal the Aegis as a Clockwork support, pretty good.
All right. 9,000 gold lead for Midas Club as they continue to kind of push their advantage in this game. And I definitely don't feel like AcatSuki are out. It's just the game is still very hard to play until you get like more Lincoln Spheres or some Lotuses to deal with this Doom, because I think you have to. But Kunkka sitting on about 2,200 gold. I'm not really sure where he wants to go with this.
Their high ground is really good too. You're gonna have to deal with that Torrent Storm, Torrent, all that. Oh, X on the Primal Beast.
Both
they have the heroes
available,
here. Arrow,
but
once you see that Medusa though, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. Supposed to be is just blinking and so aggressively, and he is going straight for the Swift Blink. So he wants to be able to just go in, do a ton of damage.
Can he finish farming it before Aegis is expired?
Yeah, definitely. 4 minutes to farm 2,000 gold on a Medusa.
Yeah, but sorry. In time and then still push with the Aegis.
Oh, yeah.
Is that enough?
Probably not. I mean, unless you want to fight. If you want to fight, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, if you pick up a couple kills, that might be the money.
Hoodwink has a Manta. What?
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see this. I'm not sure.
It's just scouting. Like, it's all it is just scouting.
Maybe this is the next level. You get this Manta to desensitize them to illusions. Boom, hit them with the Ags. They're not even thinking about it. They don't even know which illusions, which Hoodwink they can safely kill.
Just training your opponents. Well, they managed to hold the Medusa down for a moment. Tidal Waver up to the high ground, and there's the Glacier out from Drow. He's forced to ult.
That's a lot of the mana burned off.
It is indeed. And
that's a really low commitment. Tidal Wave, Glacier, these are all very low cooldown stuff. Curious
Glacier
to
is
see
a
if they'll
sick
push
ability.
for more. Yeah, really cool. At first when it came out, not a lot of people were getting it, but
it was terrible.
yeah,
It was so bad.
But yeah, with the buffs and like people now understanding how to use it, it's pretty cool.
I mean, Drow actually might catch Medusa at the rate this game's been going. Like, she has been slowly but steadily creeping up in the net worth there. Is pretty farmed. We're going to see 40R get himself his shard from the Tormentor. Not the best one. I think you'd much rather have the Hoodwink, but
Fury. Okay.
Curie almost dying for their own. Managed to get the extra leap. Also not the best shard, but who else could it have gone
They keep
to?
buffing it.
Yeah,
They
Tiny,
want it
so
to
it's
be a
whatever.
good shard. They want
I think
it
it's
to
better
be a
than
good
Tiny's.
shard so badly. Well, he did get a Swift Blink, and he has a minute left, so I guess there was enough time.
Yeah. As they're going to look for the top tier 2, they need to have like 2 lanes available, right? They get a solo kill on Widge bottom as he's trying to just cut the wave. Moonlight Shadow committed for that one, so he also has Conda done on Tiny now, so his burst potential is pretty wild. He did all the damage himself, 2,400. Wow, we're in for the long haul here, and I don't know about
Seems like it.
The Midas Club approach to the late game, because I'm pretty sure Drow wins versus a Medusa late game. As the longer this goes on, like, she will be able to do an immense amount of damage.
Yeah, I think it comes down a lot to how the engagement actually happens, and if Medusa is able to be like on top of the Drow attacking, I think she'll be fine with that. But they just have so many tools to keep Drow safe while attacking at max range, and I think that's what's going to help them win this game, potentially.
Yeah.
There's still... If you lose a big fight, I mean, Medusa can shred your base, so... Yeah,
The big
8k lead
difference-
at 37 is not a massive amount.
Yeah, I would say the only real difference in net worth here is between the supports. Like, that's where 5,000, or if not more, of the net worth difference is literally piled in. So it's like, when you think about the strength of the cores, it's kind of even. It's really just this Hoodwink having like a random Manta, which is...
And she's going for Hurricane Pike. I don't understand this. Is she trying to apply Mage Slayer, like, with the illusions?
I think that's what it is, but I don't know.
I'll keep my eye on it to see if we see something cool, but currently it feels like it's a bit of a waste.
I'm trying to think what else I'd rather have. It's right. I could have like a Gleipnir. I could have an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some very high damage builds from Hoodwink, just like constantly throwing out Acorn shots, or
Great
to
ward
like
plays
better
here.
lineup timings, something to like
Oh, they managed to get on top of the Doom. The Force Staff isn't enough to save him, then pull him back, but Kostabile just jumps in aggressively to save his team. A really nice Stone Gaze. The smoke, or I'm sorry, the Moonlight Shadow delaying a lot here. 40R just getting beat to shreds by Shido. As they will be able to get away for now. You've lost the Tiny. Can they get more, though? Great tidal wave from Robos. He pulls 40R back in, and Shido trying to finish the job. He gets him. One last marksmanship proc. The Clockwork burns down on the backside. As they also get Kiri. A 3-for-1. I mean, it looked actually pretty good for AcatSuki.
Yeah.
It would have been way worse if they had detection on Midas Club at the start of that fight, though.
Yeah, at first, after Medusa jumped in with the ult BKB and wasn't actually securing any kills, I thought they'd be able to take that fight for the Dire, but I guess it softened them up enough that everyone else finished up the kills after that. I don't think Medusa even picked any of those. One on Kiri. All right. It doesn't seem like they want to push off of that, which is a little surprising. I guess they're waiting next Aegis. They're taking a very, very safe approach to this. I feel like there's room to push a little more aggressive throughout this game.
Yeah, you also just got some like level 25s, right? Like Dusa now has the split shot modifiers. But Drow's also going to get her marksmanship chance here at 25. So that 52% proc chance, even scarier. She's going back for a BKB. I'm at a point on the Drow Ranger where it's like, this is the kind of the reason like Drow hasn't been super popular. You need so many defensive items on this hero. Like 3/4 of her items are just defensive, it feels like. So you don't have the ability to just do what this Medusa does, which is build just Daedalus.
The last one's a Midas after you lose your laning stage.
Yeah. And now she's going back for a BKB. So it's just like really rough for the Drow this game. Not going for an Ags, which is just shocking to me. I feel like a lot of people like the Ags on this hero.
I do usually see it, but maybe I guess it's not that good versus Medusa. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's fine.
I mean, she can do damage. The problem is the Primal Beast is getting very tanky, and he's kind of recognized that if he just gets some armor, he's going to be feeling very good. So he's got himself a Shiva's queued up. His game is not great, though. He is not super farmed, and neither is the Doom. Like, all of the net worth is being consolidated into this Medusa.
Are scanning.
Yeah, which is why I thought we would see earlier pushes focused on the Medusa, and like instead of a Manta on the Hoodwink, you buy something else to buff up the Medusa.
I mean, he's fully slotted. He bought an Accent.
Yeah,
he also
there's
has
not
a
room to go. The last thing he can do is like change his boots.
Yeah.
Maybe buy MKB because
Radiant's top tower
oh, that'd be
is
cool.
under attack.
It's like I really like Scythe on Medusa as a last item because it gives you a lot of effective HP. But
That's
the other
pretty cool. I
option
kinda
is
like it.
Brooch, but you don't crit with it anymore, so it feels pretty rough.
Yeah, curious to see how many people end up still buying the late game Revenant's Brooch. Position for Roche. It will spawn here in a few seconds. Doesn't really look like AcatSuki's in position for it. This will be the Roche banner. I don't think it's as big this game. Kunkka and Drow are pretty good at clearing creep waves. Don't think they'll be too stressed about it.
I'm very glad Drow is not going for the BKB and is instead going the Butterfly. I actually think you have to build another damage item here. It is a little bit of survivability, right? Because evasion is fantastic, but this will give her a ton more damage to work with.
I think several of these fights too, like people have not been getting to the Drow. I think her teammates have been doing a good job of making the space.
Oh, they're actually afraid. Moonlight Shadow, they know it got popped. And they actually back out, smoke away, as Kostabile is going to try and shove the wave here with these illusions.
Rada's thinking of coming through the twin gate, but he's scared. Scared of showing up into a bunch of heroes.
Adrian.
Dire are scanning.
The Dire do scan bottom. They're like, all right, we don't think anyone's down here. Where are they? Mirana is still just hiding super far back as the rush will get started once again. And Kiri has to consider the sniping potential. Another flare for Vision. Dude, they're going to do it.
Clear the spots. Clear the spots.
He gets it! Oh my god!
Did he get Roast Banner too?
No, they get the banner on Hiko, but I mean, this is the commitment here so low.
Pause.
Handsome devil.
I mean, that's huge. And I will say, like, Radiant, yeah, they get the banner. It's doesn't seem all that useful, to be honest, when you can't really push. And now with no Aegis onto your Medusa, it's getting harder and harder to push high ground, dude. How do you find this drow is the major problem.
Making mistakes. Is
Yeah, you're gonna have to catch her out of the base, then go in. Buckle up, get your snacks. I think this one's gonna go quite late.
They paused because they're like, all right, guys, we got the Aegis snatch, which means we're here for another 20 minutes. All right, go use the bathroom, you know. Of course.
This is the intermission. Everyone stand up, get your snacks. Kunkka has the Torrent Storm, Bloodstorm, Bloodstone, Halberd, right? Like, he's really good at delaying these fights, letting his drow just do all the damage. And that's part of why I'm glad she got a Butterfly as well, so that she can really make use of that base attack speed bonus. Tiny has his Conda. Looks like he's going for a Octarine next. I kind of want to see the
Bags?
the Aghanims, yeah. But I mean, he's got time for it. I mean, we're probably gonna go for like another 20 minutes or something at this rate. So
Yeah, I'm a little unsure. We'll have to see. I think, like, with Tiny, the Conda is just such a good damage bonus in the mid game. But now you really got to start scaling. Like, you're going to need like a Daedalus, you're going to need an Aghanim Scepter. But for him, maybe his idea is to just play around the Avalanche cooldown at 25. Because he didn't go Toss requires no target. So I think with Octarine and the Avalanche cooldown, he's playing to have just like a 4-second Avalanche.
maybe again, just choosing to invest in the drow.
Yeah.
Will she have the damage to kill literally everyone, though? Because if the
they
two
can't get
cores
to it,
are
yeah.
going utility, then supports aren't bringing the damage, not these guys. They are going to buy a Vlad's for her. Morana's got one in the
There it
queue,
is.
so you can
Finally.
boost your drow's damage even further.
I was wondering about that because Drow is all base damage. She has 350 agility, right? 382 base damage. I was like, if someone gets a Vlad's, you basically give this hero like a sacred relic and a half. Like, I was shocked we haven't gotten here.
But we're getting there. They knew. It's like, we're barely in the early game, Ricky. Calm down. I'll get the Vlad's. I'll get the Vlad's for the mid game starting around 50 minutes. It'll kick in.
And it's like 70 damage for Drow. That's pretty good. Boy,
She's
yeah,
starting to
I don't
pick
really
up
know.
a lot of armor, though.
Yeah. You need bonus armor is the thing, right? Now that she's level 25, your base armor is useless. Obviously,
Hoodwink
Medusa doesn't
build is
really care
wild.
about armor, but
Hoodwink went Manta, did get the Hurricane Pike, and is now going to go for Nullifier. I don't think I've seen a Hoodwink build quite like this before.
I don't understand the nullifier, to be honest. I mean, maybe the idea is to just like deal with the Mirana being annoying with like Solar Crest Yules and stuff, and they have like 4-staff Yules on Clockwork. Like, these guys are definitely mobile, but Hoodwink's not a hero that usually gets close enough to use Nullifier. It does not have a super long cast range, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I guess when you activate Scurry... Yeah, it's a very interesting build. I kind of think at this point, like with how hard it is to go high ground, you just go a damage build with Acorn Shot and just like keep poking with that from long range.
Yeah.
I get my due.
All right,
We'll have
the
to see what
Gs.
ends up happening, though. Back into the game here. Pretty long delay, unfortunately, but we're ready to go.
They just have to mentally recover after having Roshan stolen like that. AcatSuki needed time to mentally rejoice having stolen that Roshan. Now we're ready. I mean, the question to me now is like, Midas have not seemed comfortable pushing at times where I thought they could.
Yeah.
And okay, they would wait for Aegis, right? But they didn't get Aegis. So are they going to feel comfortable pushing? I'm not sure. For now, they're going to take this tier 2. So all the whole base is opened up. If they can win a really big fight, they could take multiple sets now. You're going to have to go through 2
Ags.
fortifies.
Let's go. Clockwork Ags online.
The great Ags. One of the best.
It's so good. I mean, it's been getting slowly buffed over time, rightfully so. But now that you have the overclocking to just rocket flare spam out waves globally is huge, and he's going to be closing in on his level 20 talent for the rocket flare true sight, which is always just a very valuable ability. Or you go rocket flare damage, either or. I think this game maybe you take the damage if you're going to just be split pushing. But
Mirana bought out the Vlads.
I think it's
Drow finally
necessary.
getting all that base damage or bonus damage.
it's like it's so much damage.
All right, we gotta find something to waffle on about, dude. I think this one's going for quite a while. I think we're entering the passive, slow approach part of the game. Maybe we're gonna find Medusa.
No, absolutely not. Okay. Let's talk about fishing.
Yeah.
So,
okay,
are we getting fishing added to the game when Crownfall comes out?
Okay, so listen, we're tired of the 2-1-2 lane meta, right? We want roaming to come back in, but people hate junglers because the jungling is selfish. You just jungle for yourself. But the fisherman, right? He fishes things up. He comes to your lane, gives you stuff. You love the fisherman. He's helping you out, and it's fishing. It's cool. Everyone's having fun.
I like it. Wait a minute, Shido here. Ooh. He's got a silver edge. He's out.
They literally couldn't believe that Drow would be on her own like that, and they just immediately backed off.
They're like, oh god, they're all there. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Fishing, add it to Dota, please, Valve. That's the next big opportunity here for the Dota client. Ward Sentry dropped. They know about this. Prada just walking in. Gonna find 40R here on the Primal Beast. Decides, nope, I don't want any of that. I'm gonna turn around, and we are back to farming. Wait a minute. Curie. Well, gets an arrow. Connects onto the Primal Beast. X comes in. The Torrent. The knockback. Goes to be on the backside with a nice Stone Gaze as well. Prada's dead. They're going to be able to get the massive kill onto the Kunkka, as well as the Kunkka just doomed up. Pulverized, holding the Tiny in place. They got him. So now Adrian, the next target. 3 dead on AcatSuki.
Drow wasn't there for that, so she was not able to attack while her teammates were being killed. Everyone has buyback, so they can all buy back here. It's pretty painful, but
Medusa also had a refresher, so she's got everything back up. BKB and Stone Gaze. They're going in for Kiri. Great find from Widge. She's got no buyback. We talked about it. She bought that Vlad's out earlier. Hiko handling the sharpshooter, trying to get the safety. They take the tier 4. They do have another fortification. They're going to have to buy back on someone.
I kind of think they needed to just commit the buybacks, because there's no way you were keeping the base without buybacks. And now they've lost the Mirana, no buyback.
They managed to pull the Drow Ranger for the moment. BKB out from Costa Bile as they get a lane of barracks. As Clockwork's coming through as well. He needs to get this hook shot. He's got it. They managed to isolate the Medusa, but the Force Staff to save her. Pulls her back in with the X. Decides, but she gets the blink out somehow. And Drow just gets destroyed on the backside as FCR, 40R, they dump on top of her, and now RoboZ trying to hobble his way back to the base. The dust is there. Rock throw somehow being useful for the first time ever. Kunkka Gets out the torrent, gets doomed up instead, and they will watch as he burns back into the fountain. Shido coming out. They've got vision on top of him. You're all alone, dude. You're going to need more help. Is an aggressive blink from Costa again onto the backside. He gets the Manta off. He makes his way back into the bases. They're going to be able to chase for more. Prada in trouble. But your Drow Ranger just not doing the damage that she needs. And with that, so many... Dude, this one ward has found like 5 heroes. Kiri's going to die again to it as Adrian forced to BKB on the run. Shido gets a good amount of damage out as they might be able to bring down this Primal Beast, and they do. That's a good kill. Looking for the Widge Crystal Maiden. Just needs a couple of auto attacks. Can he finish him off? He does. FCR comes in, gets a nice stomp, trying to stay on top of the Drow Ranger here, but you also got to be careful, dude. She can turn it back around. Prada nearby. They got him with the Gust, and now... Oh! The Hoodwink almost finds the kill. The damage isn't enough with the Acorn shot. No, he gets out with the invis of that Ninja Gear. Now Prada's going to isolate Hiko. Needs to be careful, though. There is a Medusa looking for him, and he gets him. Dude, I can't believe it. He actually just has Havoc Hammer on Hiko. What is this? Oh, another late barracks exposed.
We just had to pretend to start waffling about for the long game, and they just immediately broke the game open.
They're like, all right, we're tired of your shenanigans. Oh my god, a really good grab here. They managed to isolate Costa. He's got no mana. He's got a BKB for the moment, but no refresher. Can the Drow stay on top of him? He's getting so low, but it's not enough. She survives barely, and now Shido needs to be very careful as there is a Doom available. It is one versus the world.
Under attack.
Bro, Hiko's having a great time. He's got a Divine Rapier now. I think after that fight where 3 died, I think AcatSuki needed to buy back everyone for the high ground fight because they have a really good high ground fight, and there was no way like the fortifies would have been enough to delay. And we can say like Mirana should not have been caught, sure, but they also didn't like buy back as she got caught. And like since then they've been taking bad, like disadvantageous fights because of that, and it's leading to like their entire base being destroyed. Damn! Okay, I didn't think he could do that.
I mean, pretty Chad play. He's definitely dead as they have buybacks, but you gotta respect it. He's like, I'm taking this Medusa with me. But that should be game 1. Midas Club game 1. That should be game 2 and the series going for Midas Club. As I think you're right. As soon as those 3 heroes died, you needed to commit for a high ground defense, because I think once they break the high ground, it's over.
Yeah, the high ground scheme is